Postcolonial theory. Postcolonial theory examines the problems which were posed by the West or the European nations during the colonial period, particularly in the 19th and early 20th centuries. This theory questions and examines the expansionist imperialism of colonizing nations and cultures and the set of political, social and cultural values which support imperialism, with special attention given to the complicated relations that occur between the party who colonized and the party which is colonized. Postcolonial theory does work within a basic set of critical assumptions, including an opening questions of the benefits of empire, the effects of racism and the exploitation of those who were colonized, and the political and social positions of both those who colonized and those who were colonized. Through postcolonial theory, we study the lost histories and cultures of the colonized subjects and reveal the ways in which colonization empires have shifted and erased the identities of the colonized subjects. Postcolonial theory can be more readily attached to a text such as Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness and Lord Jim, Kim by Rudyard Kipling, A Passage to India by E.M. Forster, Kantapura by Raja Rao, and in the field of drama we can give the example of The Tempest, and in poetry the poem like The White Man's Burden by Kipling. These are the examples where we can apply postcolonial theory and where postcolonial discourse and colonial discourse they can be identified. Creative and critical writers express socialization of a society in their works in literary styles. Therefore, discourse surfaces in the form of utterances, linguistic units in their works. Thus, the writers express their philosophy through language, and from their language, the embedded sense, meaning, and motive in the discourse can be extracted. The logical extraction is that language is expression and literature is philosophy or ideas. Language is a tool of socialization, interaction, communication, and literature reflects cultural, social, economic, and psychological dimensions. The English writers expressed their views in English literature as an instrument to promote imperialism and colonialism in the past, in the 19th and the 20th century, and they highlighted the cultural enterprise and glorify the monarchy. These writers depicted the Oriental norms in their own reconstructive manner. As Karl Marx indicates this reality and states that England at that time had to fulfill a double role in India. Suppose in the case of India, one destructive, the other regenerative. The annihilation of the Asiatic society and the laying of the material foundations of Western society. In 20th century, critics targeted the expression and presentation of the English writers. The various stages of the exploitation of the colonized are investigated through post-colonial discourse. Tawassuli and Mirzapur indicate the purpose and role of the post-colonial discourse as: post-colonial discourse is the theory to investigate what happens when two cultures clash and when one of them empowers and deems itself superior to the other. This theory moves beyond the bounds of literary studies and investigates the social, political, and economic concerns of the colonized and the colonizer. It highlights various strategies adopted by colonized nations to resist their dominations and to decolonize their own land and minds. The ulterior motives of the European writers are shrouded in the colonial discourse. Colonial discourse is in fact the social practices and attitudes associated with the colonialism. This discourse reflects strategies, cruelties, jealousies, rivalries, avarice, and points of view of the colonizer. The basis of colonial system is that the colonizers are superior and the colonized inferior. The arrogance of the colonizers create a gap between them and the native indigenous people. The colonized people were considered as other. The logic behind the analysis of colonial discourse is to expose the policies and atrocities of the colonizers during the colonial period. Thank you very much.